welcome everybody. This is your host Bleerbach, and just in time for DarkSiders. This is a underappreciated franchise that came from a company that unfortunately kicked the bucket a few years back, which means that we will no longer see any more DarkSiders games aside from this one and the second one. Or will we? Because I believe that DarkSiders actually got bought out by another company. This is a Zelda-style game about the apocalypse. You play as one of the four horsemen of said apocalypse as you basically try to clear your name. So yeah, one thing I want to make clear real quick, because this happened to me when I first played the game, and this happened to me again when I first tried recording just a few minutes ago. If you have a controller that is not a Xbox 360 controller, this game will not work properly. It will not work. It will not let you use the keyboard. In fact, what it will do is it will actually point the camera straight upwards, so you can't see a thing and you can't interact with any. Like, none of the buttons work. You have to unplug your controllers to play it on the keyboard. This game was poorly optimized on the PC. It works fine other than that, and this game actually is what convinced me to buy a Xbox 360 controller. There is no options in here to change the there's no options in here to change your controls, so whatever's on the keyboard, you're stuck with that. Never got to play with them very long. Like I said, I bought a controller for it specifically, and I have not looked back since. Though I will say I do hate the D-pad on the Xbox 360, but that's, you know, a different story. Another thing to note, any other controls you have, like say a PlayStation 2 controller with a converter, little USB converter kit, you need to unplug both the converter kit and the controller. I guess just the converter kit in that sense. Otherwise, it will not work. And I'm playing this on easy mode because you know, that's what I do for Let's Plays. I normally beat games on normal mode, just to let you know, off of Let's Plays. Anyway, so yeah, so I found out that the hub that I use, the USB converter kit that I use for my PlayStation controllers, causes some problems. I will also note that there are several fixes you can find. You can find this Xbox 360 emulator that supposedly works, like this little program that you put in your install file of the game, and it's supposed to work, but it didn't for me. So your mileage may vary, and you may want to prepare to get yourself an Xbox 360 controller or play without it. It doesn't play too terribly on the keyboard, though I can imagine it getting pretty frustrating. I played for a little bit with it and never got very far. Games like these really do benefit from having a controller, a simplified control scheme. And you don't need the pinpoint accuracy of a mouse for a game like this. You need more of the precision of, you know, the simplicity of the controller. It helps out immensely. This is a third-person game, a third-person platformer, so being able to use an analog control stick as opposed to, you know, a button and like tap buttons to move makes it a lot easier. One thing I want to mention also real quick, going back to the whole controller issue. A way you can tell your controller isn't going to be compatible, because there might be some controllers that are compatible, I don't know. The way you'd be able to tell that would be easy is if you cannot control the main menu with it. So if that happens, quit the game first, then unplug your controller, because I unplugged it while the game was running and it crashed the game. So yeah, it's frustrating, to say the least. If you're like me and you do use your PlayStation controller still for, like, you know, Super Nintendo or Super Nintendo emulation and stuff like that, well, You're gonna have to replug it every time you want to play on those, or you know, just get used to using the horrible D-pad of the 360 controller. Because, as I stated before, I really hate the D-pad. For those of you who've actually played 2D platformers on it, you will know why. A round circular D-pad like this, where you can push left and it somehow registers upright, really does not work. So yeah, we have angels and demons in this game. This is like I said, this is a game about the apocalypse and the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And what better way to make this a sacrilegious game? That's right, I said sacrilegious, not sacrilegious. That's my word I came up with. Yeah. This is not a religious game. It's not like heaven and hell. That's basically in name only. For those of you that are religiously sensitive. First of all, this game isn't that kind of religious game. It's not like, you know, God. I think they refer to God as like the creator or something. They don't actually refer to him as God. It's like with Bayonetta, where it's like, you know, oh, this is kind of religious. Except, wait a minute, who the hell is Jubileus? That's not God. And the whole thing, like, you know, Inferno, Paradiso, and Purgatorio being in name only, essentially, when you find out what Purgatory actually is. It's not even, you know, real Purgatory. It's just, So yeah, right there we have a finisher move. Whenever you press B, one button gives you the option. You can also grab people with B. I don't believe you can do this in DarkSiders 2. I could be wrong. I think it's assigned to something else. But one thing I'm going to mention, DarkSiders 2 is a better game, and I do have plans to let's play it eventually, but not immediately after this game, because I'm going to go and tell you this right now. There are some things in this game that really bug me, and I'm going to have to like have a cooldown period before I go into DarkSiders 2. I might also mention that this playthrough here is also partly justified to help me hopefully get over the gripes I had with the game originally. Oh, wrong button command. So this is one of those games where you start off as a badass, and you can probably guess we're going to lose half these powers, because this is, like I said, this is a Zelda-style game where you have to earn your abilities. By the way, just to cancel out a chaos form, you hit the same button again. I believe it still drains all of your chaos meter. In this case, we actually get an infinite chaos meter. Up in the corner, normally what would happen is as we attack things and destroy creatures, they'll give off chaos essence and health essence and something else. I think like experience essence. And those go in their respective spots. Health goes back into health, which is your green bar above, and the corresponding skulls. So this is kind of a bit like Metroid in a way too, where each skull represents a full health bar. So it's actually kind of cool in that sense. And there's one thing I gotta do with this. I always forget, is it Y or X? No, Y is up and down. I always forget that. Okay. And actually, I want to make sure I got everything else set up. Subtitles, game tips, display controls. Okay, yeah. I don't know why. There we go. Okay. The direction I aim is the direction I want the camera to go towards. Some people sit there and say that that's a weird way to one thing, but you know, I point my thumb as if I'm pointing in the direction I want to go. I mean, is that really such a hard thing to understand? That guy looks like he's in some trouble. Talking about the big guy there. So one thing I want to mention also that's, ooh. Oh, that's right, we can't jump in this game. Can we? No, we can. Oh, we can jump in this game. Wow. Wow, I've been playing Kingdom Hearts way too much. Oh man. Those of you who haven't been keeping up, I'm coming off of this pretty much a day or two after I finished up Kingdom Hearts. So, yeah. So I'm pressing X to I'm pressing A to jump as opposed to X. Actually, A is X, as opposed to I'm pressing B to jump, as opposed to A, which would be in represent circle and X, respectively on that PlayStation controller. So we've lost some health. Unexpectedly, we've lost a lot of health. Not that we need it at this point in the game, but you know, we'll just follow this this big guy laying waste to the streets here. One thing I want to mention, left trigger is what I'm using to aim on targets. So that's basically Z targeting in this game. Also center of the camera behind the war. Also, one other thing, one thing that I really love about these games is the dodge mechanic. You push a direction and you push the block button, which is, I believe, right button. So it would have been better if they went with R1. And you push the direction and you dodge in that direction. It is a fun skill to use, especially more so in the second game when you don't actually have a block button, so you always dodge. B picks up things. I think I mentioned that before. Trying to figure out how to throw. I think you could. Oh wait, I think I just remembered how to throw. There is a bit of a thing with this game that I really is a pet peeve, and it continues on in the second game. Unfortunately, and it's so in order to throw an object, and hopefully it'll still let me throw said object here. That's a demonic wall right there. That's the only thing we can use to climb up buildings. Demonic growth, excuse me, not demonic wall. So, we hit buttons here. We can actually attack with this thing, sort of, until it goes away. I'm not sure why you'd want to attack with it anyway. It's kind of far inferior to the sword we have. Our awesome blade of destruction. The... Oops. Oh, here we go. Hit select to go into here. It doesn't... Okay, we haven't unlocked that menu yet. Okay, so one thing, like I said, you press B to pick up objects, and then to throw them... Well, I'm hitting B right now, I'm hitting Y, which is your heavy attack, I'm hitting A, I'm hitting X, which is your light attack. So you're probably wondering, how do you throw? Well, this is... You middle click on the right analog stick, and you notice how this works. Yeah. So you pick your spot. This is with every single thing that can be thrown, and then you hit right trigger. Yeah. In fact, there's one thing I'm gonna do here real quick. Actually, not. Make it go a little faster, because, jeez. I believe on the PC this isn't a problem. Jeez, I can't believe that. I hate that. Hated that back when they did that in Jet Force Gemini, but at least with Jet Force Gemini, it was more explainable. I mean, it was a freaking N64, one of the worst designed controllers of all time. It's something that only an octopus could fully utilize, which is why you never saw any games that use the D-pad except for one. And I love that game. Mischief Makers. That's it. I couldn't remember. When you hang above those things, you can actually press A to speed up your, like, do a long jump or speed up your movement. You can actually rapidly tap A, and it works very well, actually. I'm trying to remember here. Okay, And also hit RB to move quickly as well, but A also works just as well. So I mean, if you'd rather push A or you'd rather push RB, it's your choice. RB is also good for a dash move. So yeah, like I said, this game gets a lot of comparisons to Zelda. Honestly, it's kind of, it plays a lot more like God of War, being kind of the hack and slash, because that's really what this is. Oops, I keep hitting. I'm so used to playing Kingdom Hearts. Wow. We actually don't have a heavy attack yet. You have to unlock that later on. Especially with the finishing moves, it plays a lot more like God of War. So right here we have a demon gate, or whatever you want to call it, a blockade. We gotta defeat every enemy in the room that pops up at us to get rid of the gate. So yeah, again, this is a hack and slash. This is God of War. Only this is God of War done right. Yes, I know. I'm in the minority here when I say God of War is a... I'm sorry, but I'm just not... God of War is not a fun game for me. Maybe I need to play through it again, because I only played through the first one once, and only for a little bit. I just couldn't find the fun in it. But I find the fun in this one. This does a good job of giving you, it does have Zelda-like elements. You go through dungeons like you would in Zelda. And I think we're gonna use this car. And there we go. We can toss that without having to aim, as long as we target. We're not going to be able to target everything. We can target enemies, but that's about it. I think we need to head this way. Oh, that's... So yeah, so far as the apocalypse goes, this is kind of turned out to be pretty bad. It seems there's some weird kind of stuttering with the frame rate. Not the frame rate with the cutscenes. The frame rate's kind. The frame rate was doing fine until a second ago, but no, it's doing good now. That guy's bad. That guy's awesome. Got an old guy fighting, and he's actually doing a really good job. And he's got an eye patch, which means he's totally going to be on our side, That means he's going to be our Nick Fury. And that is disturbing. That is gory. For kids!
Impossible. Abaddon. What is this? Where are my brothers? This cannot be. The final seal.
Huh?
My lord!
How did this happen?
Oh, that's not good.
The seal was not broken.
And he's dead. Short-lived
What in
character.
heaven's name have you done?
I answer the call.
So yeah, it seems like we've been set up, and it seems from the way everything sounds, it sounds like we're the ones starting the apocalypse, which I'm not entirely sure is true, considering. Excuse me. Today we have our first boss fight. We have this demon, which we actually need to throw objects at him. I'm trying to remember how to fight him. Some of these enemies are a little less obvious to beat than others. But right here we can just strike him down with our sword of awesomeness. Seriously, the sword is like definitely inspired from World of Warcraft. I mean, this is a sword. I'm fairly certain there's a sword exactly like this in World of Warcraft somewhere. They're ridiculously oversized, impractical-looking swords, but still looks freaking awesome. What else here? Come on. Get us some more cars. There we go. Throw us more of your weakness. Yeah, this this game gets like I said, this game gets a lot of comparisons to Zelda, and it's true. There's a lot of stuff in it that is from Zelda, but again, I still compare it more to games like Call of Duty. Oh, yeah, this is totally like Call of Duty. This is a first-person shooter set in the modern military era with nothing but fluff to it, and appeals solely to the bro community. I joke, but still, this game is more like God of War than... I guess it's a combination of the two, though. I mean, I guess technically God of War is a throwback to Zelda, in a way. It is inspired from Zelda games. I gotta get used to playing this way again. I got so used to playing in the way I got so used to playing Kingdom Hearts style. Ouch! We actually got hit. Like I said, this game really does borrow a lot from different franchises. Like it borrows a similar health system from Metroid. Which I'm not sure if there's any other games that do that actually. Like I know like Transformers has ouch. Like Transformers has a segmented health system, which is unfortunately missing in the second game. I don't wonder why they decided to take that out. But then you can finish the battle. Unlike God of War, and I'm not complaining for this one, there is no quick time event to finish the boss off. And this is not good. So we lost our sword and we are in great amounts of pain now.
Law has been broken. And so have you, horsemen.
So I'm assuming this is the big bad. And yep, we're dead. Oh, that was DarkSiders, ladies and gentlemen. We did not survive the apocalypse, unfortunately.
When the seventh seal is broken, 4 horsemen shall ride forth to punish the wicked. Be they sons of men, lords of heaven, or the dregs of hell. All upon the earth will be judged, and the pact forged anew. Forget your post, horseman. You forget the law. No call was given, yet the destroyer marched, and there you were found, under his black banner, if the claims are true. To hell with your claims. The seals were broken. I was summoned.
So, this is the thing that's kind of confusing. Excuse me. I kind of like how each seal is different. That's kind of cool. But here's the question. This is a council. Why does it look so menacingly evil? Why does it look like something from hell as opposed to, like, you know, a mixture of heaven, hell, and earth?
Heaven and hell were already at war. Abaddon was there. He knew something. Abaddon fell, fighting off the chaos you unleashed. I fought.
No, instead they just decided these stone skull statues that just kind of that are flaming.
Defeat proves nothing.
I mean, if we were playing Brutal Legend, this would make sense.
When he was finished with you,
I mean, it seriously does look like something out of Brutal Legend.
punished.
Another great game, but it has nothing to do with DarkSiders. Or, you know, the Apocalypse.
Balance.
Though it does have a lot to do with demons.
Send me back.
Demons in fetish gear.
Punish the ones responsible.
It's a little weird.
You have against the Destroyer's armies. You are powerless. Then I will fail, and the demons will have carried out your sentence.
Yeah, there's some weird stuttering with the cutscene here.
But you will be watched.
I mean, it's not all the time. It's only at certain points. If you go back to see at war, like there's some weird stuttering. And that entire cutscene up until now was just 30 frames a second. Which right now it's running at 60, which I guess that means this is in game engine.
The Watcher is bound to you. It will ensure your loyalty.
And get ready for the Joker. I'm not kidding. This is Mark Hamill basically doing the Joker.
Remember that, or I will really get under your skin.
That is the Joker's voice. This was before Arkham City, I believe, so this is before he retired that particular voice. But basically, the only thing I can imagine in the sound booth with Mark Hamill was they're going, "We want you to sound like the Joker." You sure? I can sound like anything you want me to. I can sound like, you know, anything else. You sure you don't want me to sound like, you know, something more original? No, we want the Joker. But, you know, it's not really, this isn't really, you know, the Joker. We don't care. We think this would be best.
Angry blade thirsts for destruction.
So yeah, you get the Chaos Eater, which is our our weapon of choice. I'm gonna have to change that. There we go. Our weapon of choice, the Chaos Eater, an awesome blade of destruction, also stripped of its former strength and powers. And we got Blade Geyser. This is a special ability. There are... Actually, hit back? Yeah. Nope. Start. There we go. Okay, so now when we hit start, we get this. Mapping consumables and wrath. On the menu, we can hold LB and then press X, Y, A, or B to use the power in game. So basically we just hit A to assign and we pick a spot to assign it. So we'll go ahead and hit that to X because I believe that'll probably be the best for that move. Right here we have Life Essence. We can actually buy this as equipment from the local vendor, which we'll be meeting in the next episode. I believe we'll be meeting him in the next episode. This gives us health. You know, we use it and it gives us health. There's other ones that give us Wrath, which is what we use to go into Chaos form. Give us the yellow energy. I can't remember what the yellow energy is now. Which there's no real way to get yellow energy. Which that might be Wrath. Yellow energy might be Wrath. There's no real determinate way to get that energy unless we get a special thing that is involved with our gear and equipment. Or might be our passive abilities. We'll get certain things later on. Actually, no, it's one of these enhancements, isn't it? Yeah, it's one of the enhancements down here. Right here we have 3 item slots. We'll be getting 2 other items later on in the game. One is, well, both are required for certain things, but one I typically don't use a whole lot. I mean, you definitely can, but it's not my thing. I like the first one better. So for each thing, you notice there's a little circle beside them. They're in correspondence with these. When we get enhancements, we can actually equip them to certain things, and they have certain effects and all this other stuff. You know, you get the idea. One of them allows us to actually regain wrath naturally, like as we attack enemies. Normally we don't. I believe they fixed that in the second game as well. They do a lot. This game, they do a lot to fix this. To fix this stuff in the second game. But here's another thing. This is something that I kind of wish they brought back in the second game, but they didn't. You can actually level up your weapons. As you fight with them, you gain points and everything to level them up with. You get... as you level them up, they become stronger, and one of these runes up here in the top fill up. You get like 4 levels to level them up. They take forever to level up. Good luck getting all 3 of these things leveled up by the end of the game. This is also where you go to equip your enhancements. And I believe you equip passive enhancements here. These 2 items here, these are the equivalent of your pieces of heart, to put it in Zelda terms. Collect 4 of this, you gain an extra health slot. You gain an extra skull, which is another health bar. You gain 4 of this, you gain another wrath bar. So yeah, there are fragments of these scattered about the world, scattered in dungeons, usually in chests. The more I start saying this out loud, the more I start realizing, yeah, this is pretty much Zelda. This is pretty much a mature-rated Zelda. And do we not have double jump anymore?
Your currency. Some enemies are more easily bought than killed.
Okay, we still have double jump. Okay. So yeah, right here they talk about using currency. Some enemies are more bought than killed. Currency here are souls. This right here, I'm assuming is a soul well, but there are 3 souls. You got currency, health, and wrath. Wrath is gonna be the hardest one to find. Health comes off of pretty much anything, and currency comes off of pretty much anything. Currency is basically your experience. And you'll use that experience to buy new abilities outside of these. So right now we just have X as our ability. We'll get as we get new weapons, we'll get more abilities.
Few can afford his services, but perhaps you can strike a bargain.
The council confers with demons now, does it?
Since the truce was broken, some demons have fallen from the Destroyer's favor. Vulgrim is one such outcast. He has long sought an audience with us.
How long have I been here?
Oh, that looks painful. And we burst into flames. The end! Okay, I'm not gonna make 2 jokes like that in one video. So we get sent back as a meteorite. But I think we'll be dealing with that and with all this stuff in the next episode. So, in the next episode, as I try to find my cell phone now. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Listen to the Watcher. Listen to the Watcher as he speaks. Tell me he's not the Joker.
One of your ground rules. Until this is over, you're a dog on a leash. I say bark, you bark. And if I have to kick you, you'd better not bare your teeth. Understand? Or should I teach you to play dead?
That is the freaking voice of the Joker. And almost a personality, too. He almost has that personality.
Good boy.
But yeah, I think we'll go ahead and end the episode off here for now. So in the next episode, we'll go from where we are now and actually go through our first dungeon. But until then, I'll see you guys later.